Welcome back again. As you can see, the new carport that I keep talking about all the time, delaying the work on the boats and everything else, is up. You can see in the background, I finished up 2 days ago on the roof for the house, ripped off the old 3-tab and stuck on a new raised metal rib. Raised metal roof. So that's all done. That's 27 days from start to finish, with mostly long days, and the yellow jackets are trying to bother me. So I'll do a couple little side shots here, and then we'll get back to building boats again. But I'm just anybody that was curious about, what I was referring to on roofing the house and building the carport, there they are.
Here's another little shot of the carport. It's 12 feet by 22 feet long, and it's about, I don't know, I got enough room I can get my Volkswagen bus inside, and a full-size pickup can get in it. A lot of new construction, you can't get a big pickup in them. And a shot of the house and the chimney. On the other side I had 2 vent pipes, which I rerouted to the vent you can see along the ridge up there. That's something the manufacturer, recommended to cut down on the number of things you got going through the roof. And
as a little side note, this was the underlayment that I was using. It's GAF, they call it tire paw, and it's got these big paw prints. And when I had all of it laid up before I put the roofing down, the whole roof had like about 3 or 4 rows of these giant footprints walking up in order. And then luckily everything came out to where it was spaced where they were pretty much in line. So it was pretty, it's 4 feet wide by 100 foot long. I got it for the roll, and I got it at the Home Depot for $85 each. And they're, you can't tear it, not unlike 30-pound felt, stinky. It goes on bad. You've got all these beautiful markings on here to line up your roofing on. You got these little nailing things on center. There's some in the middle on 16-inch centers. I mean, it's just wonderful stuff. It's good for, they say 180 days exposure before you get around to finally putting the roof on for UV protection. This surface up here is rough. You can walk on it if the pitch isn't too steep. And when I put it on, there was not, on my roof, on those big faces, 16 feet each side by 38 feet long, there was not a single slash in any of this stuff. I put them on with just nailed across the top like this, every 2 feet on these nailing spots, one end to the other. I didn't do any other nails, so when I came along with the roofing, I just smoothed it down with a foxtail brush, mainly to check to see if there weren't any projections, nails, or whatever that I lost underneath. And went in, it was just perfect. When I took off the old roof, the 30-pound felt underlayment, the roofers had just sliced, I mean, slices everywhere. I'm surprised that I didn't have a lot more leaks than the way they put it on, but not a single cut in this on that whole house. I love this side. So getting back to the boat again, I've been I made some cardboard templates. Let me get down in here to see what we're doing. Okay, and here we got our seat pyramid we're working on. I made some templates for the top, and I've already cut out the old seat to match it. So it's there, and I've taped on these, but when I cut these out, it was lower. I was using this in the top, and this plywood is much thicker. So now I'm going to take my scissors. We'll come back in a second here. I'm going to make these longer so they fit, so they have a perfect template to put down my plywood. You can either cut these things out solidly, or else you can take a strip along here, tape it to the top, cut another strip down, fit it, tape it to this piece, put another piece in here and tape it to this one, and then just work around. You'll wind up with a hollow, but you'll have a perimeter of the exact size of the pattern that you want to make, and I show that in detail in the plan details on all my boats now. It's part of the plan set, and this one didn't have anything like that. I had a lot of measurements, and I found that No two boats are ever going to be the same. You're not going to cut them the same. You're not going to wire them up the same. The beams that you set, how you bend it, how you set it level on the table, they're all going. I just given up on measurements, so you'll need to measure your boat. But I'll show you how to do it. We'll come back. I was in the process of editing this video, and I remembered I told you about this other thing that I was doing. And so, I best show you. This will be the strip method, where you just do the perimeter as opposed to having the center part. So, I gotta, and try to come up with straight edges along. It doesn't matter because you can fine tune them when you transfer it over, and you can make this and then transfer it over to another piece of cardboard. So I've already marked down here. Can you see my finger? Yeah. How far out I want to go, so I know that that's the outside edge, and so I can make a little cut in here. Apply that with a little bit of tape. And then we'll go down here. I'll make a just a little bit of arc on the bottom. Okay. Back side, and this is actually easier to do than the other method where I had the full panel, because then you got to lay it out on the floor and you use your rafter square or some other straight edge. Let's go around to the other side. You can see, I'm doing this in real time, so you can see how quickly this goes. And as I've said before, cardboard templates can save you a lot of time, and mostly a lot of money. And as I said before, try to get these edges straight if you can. Yeah. Do a little pre-radius here too. A little more. Check your edge marks over here. And there you go, you've got your template for that hatch. Doesn't look symmetrical because these parts aren't square, but there you go. Now you can pull this off and add some more tape to the back sides if you want. Just to keep it from moving around on you. And then voila, you've got your template. You can transfer over to plywood or another sheet of cardboard to make. I've already marked that other one, so here's the other one that I had. So you can see that they pretty much overlap, except this one took me however long it took us to watch while I did this. So the end of this cut, and we'll go back to the rest of the video. Okay, here we go. I want to get this out about an angle like that, so I need to put something in there to hold this thing in place. And this tape measure is heavy enough. I'll stick it back in here, and that's about the right angle I want. Just a little bit of angle to give it some character, but not so much. I mean, if you want to, you can have them vertical, or you can have them out there, but this is enough. The front one I've already done, we'll show it later, but it's got more angle. So we'll come along, and I want to get the radius in here, so I'm going to do a little bit of a arc down here. Okay, that fits in good. And then we'll come over here for the side panel. Okay, that's good enough for that one. And now we'll tape it in place. So this one down here is flush with the bottom. And so when I cut it out on the plywood, I know that I'm not going to have a big severe gap I'm going to have to waste a lot of fillet material on. Okay, got that one done. We'll switch around to the other side. This one's already got kind of an arc to it. Let me pretty close. And you can see let me kick this around a little more here. Okay. And for here, I'll just draw a reference arc. You could, if you want to, you could put a little bit of tape down there just to know that you got some angle there. So that one's ready to cut out, along with the front one I've got here already. And you can't see it. I also cut out a new, when I cut the old bulkhead out and was refitting it, I didn't like the way it was fitting in. This front seat will be a little shorter too. It's probably going to be an inch less, probably be around 10 or 11 inches. Like a second. About 10 inches, which is fine. You know, on a boat this small, it's only going to be the grandkids sitting up there, or the dog or whatever, so it doesn't need to be that big. And because of the size, I'm going to be limited to probably about a 4-inch hatch because of the flanges going around. That doesn't give you a lot of room, so probably a 4-inch hatch. I may try one on the top. I've never put one on the top yet. So let's get the other. And this is something I've already cut before, but I want to check it. And all I need to, the fit along the seam down here, the seam down here is good. I'm happy with that. That'll be a very small gap of any kind. I do need to move the top of the plywood up here, maybe 1/8 of an inch high. I'll make this edge 1/8 of an inch high. Higher than what it is. so I can mark that down. And the other thing I like to do, I know it already because I've already tested it, that this fits on the other side. They're mirror images of each other. And the bottom fit is fine, and the top is 1/8 of an inch. So I know now that that panel needs to be 1/8 of an inch taller when I cut it out of plywood. So much for that. Let me go ahead and get some stuff done on it. But I had a piece of scrap. I've got all my pieces that I need. I've already cut over here underneath this old battery. These old, this came out of my UPS, makes a great weight. Motorcycle batteries, lawn tractor batteries, those kinds. Well, these are better because they're sealed. I can tip it over and I'm not going to worry about it for the UPS batteries. But I've got it marked out, laid out. I have some, it looks like there's going to be some waste, but it won't be wasted because a lot of this will be cut down to fit in for hatches for the backing plates, because the 1/4 inch material is too thin for hatches. And here's some of my leftover hatch material. These are probably 4s, and this is probably an 8-inch hatch cutout. I think I have a 12 here somewhere. I'm going to recut these as feet for my stove, my wood stove I'm rebuilding. So, laid them out, got them clamped down in place. The one thing you want to do, the only edge that you have to freestyle is this arched one along the bottom that fits along the bottom side. But on these other ones on the end, use your straight edge like your rafter square here just as a guide for a straight line, because the scissor line isn't going to be necessarily straight. And then on these guys where I put in the, I don't know if you can see it or not, down in here where I added these extensions on, they weren't quite in line, so I just drew in a new straight edge, and that gives me a solid backing. So now I go ahead and clamp these out. Also mark these guys port and starboard in the bow and the aft seat. You'll know when they either fit or they don't fit. So I'll go ahead and cut these off camera. There's no use. I mean, it's just I'll use maybe the bandsaw and stuff. I might use my new Milwaukee M12 jigsaw too. I might take that out and videotape a little of it. But I found that on some of these long cuts, my Japanese draw saw it just works wonders. In fact, when I had some fascia boards on the house that had rotted out, and I was debating whether or not to go get the circular saw and the power cord and all that kind of stuff. And so I thought, no. I'll just get my little Japanese draw saw and an adjustable, gauge for making a straight line, and wham with a pencil, and then just, I don't know, 20 seconds and the board was off. So I love those little draw saws. They are the greatest thing in the world. So we'll cut this off. We'll come back after I've cut these out and start fitting them in the boat.